Ancient chronicles focus almost exclusively on the figures who hold the scepter and lead the charge. We look at the kings and the conquerors during the years when their territory and their influence were absolute. But if we look past the central figure, we find the children standing in the background. They are the silent observers, absorbing the mechanics of a world they are expected to lead. In the kingdom of Kishkindha, that observer was a young prince named Angada. He grew up in the court of his father, Vali, the most dominant Vanara king in history. History often overlooks these quiet periods of preparation, yet these are the moments where the foundation of a leader is built, occurring just before a civilization is irrevocably changed. Kishkindha's geography was its primary strength. Towering mountains and dense forests created a natural perimeter protecting the capital. From this stronghold, Vali pressured outward. Neighboring powers were kept at a distance, ensuring the kingdom's internal life remained secure. This sustained security creates an illusion of permanence, the societal belief that a period of supreme stability is the natural state of kings, rather than a fragile achievement. Angada was born at the absolute height of this era. Unlike his father, he wasn't expected to build a kingdom. He was expected to eventually inherit one that was already perceived as perfect. As the heir, his future was already mapped out. He would serve as the primary protector, the lead diplomat, and the ultimate representative of a legendary civilization. However, being raised in an invincible empire can be a strategic disadvantage for a future leader. It provides no exposure to the mechanics of failure or the signs of an approaching collapse. To prepare him for the throne, Angada's education was split between two entirely different philosophies of leadership. He spent his early years observing his father, Vali. From him, he learned the importance of physical endurance and how raw power could be used to command the rugged terrain of Kishkindha. But he was also being shaped by his mother, Queen Tara. She served as the strategic and political mind of the empire, focusing on the nuances of power that strength alone could not resolve. Their lessons were complementary. While Vali demonstrated how to apply force, Tara's influence focused on the judgment of when and why to apply it. By shadowing both parents, Angada was developing two distinct methods of rule simultaneously. He was learning how a kingdom functions when it balances the application of raw force with the subtleties of political restraint. The prince also looked to his uncle, Sugriva. During this time, Sugriva was not a rival, but a key member of the royal household. To the young prince, Sugriva was a mentor and a constant presence in daily life. His role was to support Vali's rule, reinforcing the image of a unified family. This depiction of Vali, Tara, and Sugriva represents the period of total domestic stability in Kishkindha. Together, they formed the foundation of the prince's world. The tragedy is that the very people providing Angada his sense of security were the same figures who would eventually trigger the kingdom's fracture. As Angada matured, he continued to prepare for a peaceful and orderly transition of power. Every lesson was designed to help him maintain the status quo, but the timeline of history was moving in a different direction. The lessons he learned to maintain a golden age were never going to be used for that purpose. The burden of inheriting a legacy was quietly being replaced by a much more urgent task, the necessity of surviving a civil war. In this moment, Angada remains a student. He is blissfully unaware that the fundamental rules of his reality are about to be rewritten. While his daily life remains quiet, a sequence of external pressures and internal rivalries is beginning to converge on the kingdom's borders. The shift begins with a simple misunderstanding, a dark cave, and a sudden, violent fracture between Vali and Sugriva. It is the moment the illusion of permanence dies, and the forgotten prince of Kishkindha is forced to step out of the shadows and into the center of the Ramayana.